The closer, the hard-throwing Billy Koch, has had 2 innings in this series. So far, 2 hits allowed, 1 strikeout. And Dustin Moore, the first hitter, and a fastball for a strike. And he's working with Greg Myers, who's come on to do the catching. Myers will enter into the number 2 spot in the order. Randy Velarde, who hit for the previous catcher, Hernandez, stays in to play first base in the 9th spot. Moore hitting 7th, relieved Kadire, the right fielder. Kadire went 2 for 2 with an intentional walk in this game today. Kadire 5 for 13 in this series. A young guy with very little big league experience. But it sounds like we'll be hearing a lot more of his name in the years to come.
Well, the tip of the hat to the Twins right-handed hitters. They knew they had to pick it up because their left-handers were not going to be able to handle Mulder, as you know, normally that's the way, and they stepped up. The right-handed hitters did all the damage so far in this ball game for the Twins.
Mark Mulder never did allow a left-handed hitter to get on base. 0 for 14 they went against Mulder today. That's too high from Koch. 2-2 the count. Tim Hudson right behind Mulder. Hudson went on 3 days of rest yesterday at the Metrodome. Now, if the defense had been a little stronger, it might have looked a little bit better. He was charged with 7 runs, but only 2 earned runs in 3 1/3 innings, although they were hitting the ball hard against him. 3-2 now.
The one thing I think is that, you know, the first game when they were able to come back, the Twins, you know, Twins came in here, everyone's saying they didn't have a chance against the Oakland A's, and they had to feel that way a little bit themselves. And all of a sudden, you know, they get a chance and they win game 1.
That's a foul. And after they just fell all over themselves for 2 or 3 innings at the beginning of that game.
And they were able to come back. But again, I think it was because they had their best lineup in there, which is left-handed hitting lineup against right-handed pitching. They were able to come back. And I really think that's, you know, gave them then, you know, the confidence to think, hey, we can beat these guys.
Yeah, I mean, that will be a question. If Oakland does not come back and win this game, that will be asked a lot this offseason. What if the A's had gone with Zito and Mulder the first 2, and then by extension Zito and Mulder in the last 2, instead of Hudson and Mulder the first 2, as they did? 3-2 the count. Wow, that's a little bit high. And ball 4 to Dustin Moore. So leadoff walk here. That is the first unintentional walk allowed in this game.
Or hit and run. Try to do something to get you another run.
Krasinski 0 for 3. There's Eddie Guardado, the Twins closer. He's had some nightmares in this park this year. Krasinski drives one deep in the right field. Dye going back. This ball is gone. A home run! Onto the top of the scoreboard, and that is a home run. A.J. Pierzynski has given them 2 more runs. He hit only 6 home runs all year long, and this one just above the out-of-town scoreboard, and out of here it is 4-1 Minnesota. And suddenly the Coliseum sounds tomb-like. A 2-out RBI single in the 2nd inning. Then he hit a double in the 4th, struck out looking in the 6th. 2 for 3. A.J. Pierzynski, who went 4 for 4 in his first postseason game this past Tuesday, now gets a huge home run in the 9th inning against Billy Koch, the Oakland closer. And that, I mean, that is so huge when you figure Guardado has had some problems against this lineup in this park this year.
Well, you were thinking, well, I got one last shot against Guardado because, you know, he didn't come in and just put it away in the previous games. But now, I mean, with a 3-run lead, at minimum, you know, he's going to be okay. There you see the guys you'll face, Chavez, Dye, and Justice.
I mean, all capable of going deep
if it was a 1-run ball game.
Joe Mays, the right-hander, now gets up as well with Guardado in the bullpen. 4-1 Minnesota. And the Athletics perhaps in some deep disbelief right now. That's a nice play from the Oakland third baseman Chavez to get Hocking. In this series, there's a ball outside to Jacques Jones. He is the only Twins left-handed hitter to have gotten a hit today. Jacques Jones is 0 for 4, a couple of strikeouts. And that one is called a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. So Oakland with some big hitters still to come in the 9th inning.
Well, if you are the Twins, you did everything right in today's ballgame. The right-handers took care of the left-hander, and so far here, the left-handed pitcher has been taken care of by the left-handed hitter. That's a good mixture for your team.
The young Minnesota Twins, 3 outs away from moving on and beating the team in the league that had the best record, as Jock Jones swings in another bad one.
They think that was the game-winning swing right there for sure.
And Guzman with a count of 1-1. He's had a couple of doubles today, 2 for 4. Well, you know, the Twins clubhouse is ready. The champagne on ice. And suddenly that preparation began a little more in earnest back there in the clubhouse after Pierzynski's home run. I mean, I believe the A's and this crowd all thought that they were going to come back and get that run. That's off the glove of Koch, and the speedy Guzman reaches to keep the inning going. If they do in fact hold on and win this game, they'll have won 2 games in this series here in Oakland. The pitch out, and not a very good one, but the runner wasn't going anyway. Koski 0 for 4, the hitter, 1 ball and no strikes. Mark Mulder, what a magnificent performance by him on 3 days of rest, with the Twins constantly threatening, and he would not yield. Kept the Twins right in this game. I mean, he truly is an outstanding pitcher. 1-1 the count now to Corey Koski. Now, of course, it's not over yet. Chavez, Dye, Justice, 3 excellent hitters will take their shots against Guardado in the 9th inning. Guardado, who in game 1 was a little overexcited himself, being in the postseason for the first time after so many losing years as a Twin. But now he's got a little more comfort level here in this game, suddenly. And the excitement, the ability to generate noise has seemed to just have gone right out of the fans here at the Coliseum. There goes the runner. And he steals it anyway. That was a semi-pitch out. So it is the Twins who are stealing the bag here.
Well, you figure you just take off, because if you can get to second base, you get a chance to add 1 more. You've already gotten a 2-run lead here in the 9th, so you say, I'll just take a chance to try to add on. Smart play by Gardenhire to send him.
32,146. The official paid crowd of the Oakland Coliseum today. Very, very quiet at the moment. A runner at second. And strike 2 to Koski. David Ortiz on deck. He would be next. And the excitement level, conversely, is building there in the Twins dugout.
Well, you do not want to overreact, because you still have to go out there and get 3 outs. So you want to just maintain your composure and play as you have the first 8 innings.
A 3-run lead, even with everyday Eddie Guardado coming out of the bullpen. I mean, that's not automatic.
Nothing is automatic in this game. I mean, you felt like, well, Billy Koch come in 1, 2, 3, then we would see what the A's could do against Guardado. But it wasn't automatic. Billy Koch gave up the 2-run homer.
And it started with a walk to Dustin Moore. So Koski hanging tough here. 0 for 4 in the game. The Oakland Athletics, who won 3 straight World Series, 1972 through 74, one of the great teams of all time. But since that 74 World Series, when they've been in an elimination type scenario in the postseason, their record is 2 wins and 7 losses. Accompanying the A's club of the year after, the LaRussa A's of the Bash brothers, Dave Stewart back in the 80s and into the 90s. And then these last 3 years, that's what applies to this group. This is this group of athletics' time. the Tejada Chavez Oakland Athletics with Mulder, Zito, and Hudson. I mean, they gave the Yankees the last 2 years the most difficult series that the Yankees had until the Yankees finally met their match in the Arizona Diamondbacks last November. David Ortiz, and that is called a strike. But this year the roles were kind of reversed. The Athletics were in the role of the Yankees, the heavy favorite, and the young upstart Twins were the team that's supposed to be taught a lesson about life in the postseason. But they learned quick. And that's inside. I mean, the first 2 innings or 3 innings of that game 1 on Tuesday, that may not have just been one of the worst 2 or 3 inning periods ever seen in a postseason game. That's one of those worst 2 or 3 innings you'll ever see in any game at any time in the big leagues. And yet they rebounded and they won that game. And maybe the series. And that's a base hit. And now they're going to add on to it. Dye cuts it off. Scoring is Guzman. Koski to third. And a double by Ortiz. And the Minnesota Twins are leading 5-1 in Game 5.
Instead of taking off and, running or trying to force the action early, the most aggressive team on this field today is the one that's winning this ballgame. The Twins have been aggressive from the beginning.
Well, look at that first inning right away before Durham ever got up there. Guzman hit a clean double, but tried to stretch it into a triple.
And exactly, and I said at that time, I thought it was a good play. I mean, be the aggressor, and you usually come out on top when there's a 5th game or a 7th and deciding game.
Torrey Hunter fouls one back over the screen into the crowd. Hunter is 1 for 4. The Minnesota Twins, there was a scenario, there was a schedule, there was a plan where this 2002 season would have been played without the Minnesota Twins. Not that they would have moved somewhere else, they would have ceased to exist. They called it contraction. Well, they fought that off. And now the Twins are 3 outs away from having fought the Oakland Athletics off and to move on into Anaheim. Last chance for the Athletics.